10 years. A full decade since a 17-year-old boy walked out of his home in St. George, Utah, and vanished. No trace, no answers, not a single piece of evidence in all this time. This is the disappearance of Macin Smith, a case that has refused to settle, refused to fade, and refused to give anyone closure they've been waiting for. Before he became a missing person, Macin was a quiet, sensitive kid with a creative streak that ran deep. He loved breaking Benjamin, the kind of love that shapes your identity. He dreamed of learning guitar, of being in a band someday. He baked at home. He played board games with his family. He escaped into anime and video games, where the worlds were bigger, safer, and kinder than the one he lived in. He was the youngest of 6 children, the baby of the family, often coddled, often protected, but he also carried weight. A speech delay as a toddler left him with a slight impediment, something classmates never let him forget. He was bullied, he was sensitive, and he felt things deeply. In 2015, the Smiths moved from Canada to St. George, Utah. The idea was simple: a new environment, better weather, a place where both Macin and his mother could find relief from their depressive episodes. Macin enrolled in summer school to catch up on credits. He started his senior year strong: good grades, good effort, and a sense of hope. His parents made a deal with him: keep the grades up and he could watch anime at night. But electronics had to be off by 10 p.m. A rule meant to help him, but one that would become part of the final hours before he disappeared. August 31st, 2015, Macin goes to bed early, telling his mother he had a headache. She unplugs the interior router, a routine measure, and leaves it on the counter instead of hiding it. At 1:30 a.m., his father wakes up. There's a blue glow coming from under Macin's door. He opens it and finds Macin watching anime. His father confiscates both his laptop and his phone. This is the last confirmed interaction anyone has with Macin. At 7 a.m., Macin appears to be getting ready for school. At 7:40, his parents hear the garage door close. They assume he's walking to the bus stop, just a 2-minute walk down the road, but he never gets on the bus, never arrives at school, he never comes home. When his mother checks his room later, he finds his school supplies hidden under a pile of clothes, staged to look like he left for school. His wallet is still there, his ID, his money, and a note indicating he intended to harm himself. He took no clothing, no backpack, nothing. Investigators search his laptop. They find extensive anime history, nothing unusual. But they also find a deleted comment, a document where Macin describes wanting to end his life. The family confirms he had attempted suicide once before, years earlier in Canada, but couldn't go through with it. The community mobilizes, volunteers search the desert, flyers go up, search and rescue teams comb the area. But nothing, absolutely nothing is found. No clothing, no remains, no personal items, no confirmed sightings. It's as if Macin stepped out of his house and dissolved into the air. One detail has haunted this case for 10 years. Macin's school bus was scheduled for 7:41 a.m. His father's VASA Fitness membership card was scanned at 7:45 a.m. The gym is roughly 10 minutes from the Smiths' home. The timeline has never been publicly reconciled. It is the most scrutinized inconsistency in the entire case. A retired police detective who has assisted in early searches claims that Macin's father once told him he did not see or hear Macin that morning, contradicting the official family timeline. This statement has never been confirmed or denied by law enforcement. It sits in the gray space where memory, stress, and trauma distort edges of truth. After my original article, A volunteer who was present at the first large-scale search shared this recollection. They were not told to stay away. They arrived the morning of the first large-scale search, reclined the comfort motorhome, and left shortly after. They did not return that day. Other volunteers remember it differently. No official statement has ever clarified this. It remains one of many contested details that shape public perception, but not the investigation. Both parents reportedly took and passed 2 polygraph tests. Police placed a covert GPS tracker on Macin Smith's truck. When he discovered it, he didn't object. None of this produced new leads. 10 years have passed, a decade of silence, a decade of theories, questions, and contradictions. A decade without a single piece of physical evidence. No suspects, no confirmed sightings, no remains, no answers. Just a boy who walked out of his home and never came back. A decade is a long time for a family to wait, a long time for a community to wonder, a long time for a case to remain untouched by new evidence. But the hope for answers, even after 10 years, has never fully disappeared.